Hello everyone. We will move to our next topic now on types of purchases. Once we are clear of supply process, now we would move to identify different kind or different types of purchases. Once we are clear of process, different types of purchases, we can actually move to a very important topic of sourcing strategies. So, we will see today that why we need different sourcing strategies for different types of purchases. So, here you can see that need identification and types of purchases, and you can see few pictures here. Okay, can you relate to the pictures here? When we talk about purchasing, every sector has unique requirements depending on what kind of product, goods, services they are dealing with. Right? Dealing can vary from a typical retail sector. We all go to retail shops, maybe grocery buying. Have you ever thought of how they plan their buying? How they plan buying different categories of products in any retail, FMCG, or it can be white good retail, how they plan the purchasing. Whatever method they use to plan the purchasing, will it be same for a company who wants to purchase aeroplanes, let's say airline sector? Will it be same as company who wants to buy some repair items? Definitely not how construction industry is buying or purchasing their goods. Okay. So, first of all, it is very important to understand what is my need. Can I classify those needs? Can we categorize some set of needs? Needs means types of purchases, maybe goods and services, how we can classify them. Because if we would classify them, we would get to know what would be the right sourcing strategy for that category of products, right? So, it is very important to first have a clear understanding, right? So, which category my need falls in, what are the challenges, what are the issues. It also help me in hiring the right person. Roles and responsibilities, right? What roles and responsibilities a personnel should have depending on what kind of product I am dealing with, right? So, we will have an interactive session. In fact, you would suggest that what can be the sourcing strategy, how it should look like, right? What kind of responsibilities, what kind of skill or knowledge a personnel have to handle this type of needs. Okay. So, we want to understand types of purchases to define and categorize, right, and then establish measures to track the inventory of type of purchases, right. It would be different, and so that we can devise appropriate sourcing strategy. Let's talk about category first, category resale. Resale, it can be retail also. Okay. So, just spend 1 minute thinking about retail sector or resale. Why we are writing resale? What is happening here? What kind of purchase is this? Retailer can be an FMCG retailer, it can be a white good retailer. Can it be a service retailer in service sector? Do we have something called retail in service sector? Think about it. Do we use retail in banking industry? What is that in banking industry? What do we mean by retail, resale? Let's first discuss this resale setting, retail setting, where the companies take possession of goods. Retailers or resellers. Resale means resale done by resellers. Okay. So let's talk about resellers or retailers which take possession of goods, like your FMCG retail, okay, your any other tech products retail. Okay. So now how to deal with the purchasing of this type of purchase or need? What would be the issues here? Lot many categories to buy. Okay. Lot many categories to buy. What next? Number of SKUs would be huge. Come again. Please use the mic and speak.
Managing the inventory.
Managing the inventory, right? Very good. So you have to manage the inventory. Why managing inventory is so critical here? Why managing inventory so critical in this type of purchase? Yes?
Yeah, like inventory, like it's a time of resale. We are not sure of the like dimensions or the quality, all those stuffs. So it's not like we can set. It's not certain that okay, I need this much space or this much this environment conditions for that.
Uh, can you repeat?
Buying and selling can happen at different times, so maybe we need to keep the inventory in different.
Yeah, so why we are keeping inventory? Because buying and selling is happening different time, but why this inventory is a big problem here for this type of purchase?
Perishable goods.
It would be perishability would be there. Okay, so perishability can be one factor, but depending on the type of good, perishability would be decided. But overall, why this sector will have, what kind of issues this sector would have while purchasing, right? Why can't they keep inventory for so long? Perishability is one aspect, right? Let's have our broader business aspect, because keeping so much in inventory means tied up capital, storage cost,
Yeah.
keeping
Also,
inventory holding cost. Yes.
I believe if it's a resale, like it would depreciate if we store long.
Yes. Yes, if it is maybe non-perishable goods, like it still has its, like it would get obsolete over a period of time, right? So that is in general, we don't want to keep inventory for so long, but it is always a practice, right, to manage inventory, because it is a tied up capital for any company. Now another thing, why this tied up capital is an issue. These retailers, though they are possessing the goods, they are owning the goods for small period, right? They are not producing the product. Okay. So they have to buy the product, store the product or keep the product and then sell the product. Okay. Now they are always struggling. One is inventory, another is cash flows, right? As we have mentioned, buying and selling is happening at different time, whether we would be able to sell the product in time so that the value and money would float and the retailers would be able to pay to their suppliers, right? This will be the crucial thing while deciding about purchasing of this products by the retailers and resellers. Okay. Now we will take one step. If we are talking about retailers who do not take possession of goods, like some kind of services. Okay, services. Now if I would say that you want to travel from one place to another, and I would say that you want to travel let's say by air, right, from airline service ABC. You can go to ABC website and book the ticket, or you can buy from another booking partners or travel agents. Now those travel agents are resellers, isn't it? They are not the owners of the companies, but they are resellers. Okay, so what would be their decisions on purchasing? Okay, so there the issues of margins will come. They will have a very small margins. Okay, so what kind of margins available, based on that they would decide to offer the services to the customers, right? So based on this thing, one thing is that these retailers, they are not involved in converting and producing of goods and services. They are just resellers, right? And they can be easily bypassed. Okay, they can be easily bypassed, right? This clear thing we can see now, most of the buying is happening over e-marketplaces, right? Zone and this thing. Okay, but if these resellers have to be in business, they have to plan their purchasing in a very ordered manner so that they can manage the cash flows. Okay, so that is the one first category of which are very important, like for purchasing decisions. One should know that if I would be in this sector, if I am dealing with this type of purchase, like the mantra is cash flows, right, and the price of goods. It should give me good margin, then only it is like beneficial to resell. Now comes the second category, right? Some of the companies, some of the businesses, they need raw material or semi-processed material, right? It can be input to production process, right? Agree? It is actually like more relevant to production. We all agree, correct? But it is a raw material, yeah, even for processing, right? Like our agriculture commodities, right? So now from these pictures, like what are the issues or what comes to your mind when we talk about this type of purchase? Purchasing of raw materials, semi-processed material or commodities. What comes to your mind? Raise your hand and use mic.
One thing would be that the quality is of high importance, because we could either be the the producer of the finished product, or we might be an intermediary in the supply chain. So the next person in the supply chain would be depending on our output.
Yes.
Since the quality of what we receive, the raw material that we use in our production process would directly affect our output, and hence our
Yes.
relationship with those further on in the
So
supply chain.
quality is one thing, because when we talk about raw material, when we deal with purchasing of this thing, you won't get, same and standardized quality, right, from the suppliers. This is one challenge. What else?
The number of suppliers. It is possible that for certain type of materials, your suppliers are limited. That becomes an issue when you have something like COVID, and if the supplier is located far away, then transportation problems.
Yes. So it depends on how many suppliers we have. Generally, it has been seen for some of the acute shortage raw material, right? Now we are in the era of battery operated vehicles, okay? And for batteries, like, whatever raw material we need, either lithium, copper, lead, so everything is like, there is no guarantee it is abundant. Even it is abundant, like, the processing of that really is like, time consuming, and it is at different specified places only, right? So getting from those places is a challenge. Yes, some other point?
It was linked to that point only. Like, because of quality, it is very difficult to estimate the price also.
Exactly. So very good point. When quality is not same, so is the price. Okay. For example, when companies like chemical industry, or when they are the companies which are in need of coal, who uses coal as raw material, so the coal prices will differ based on the sulfur content. Okay. So this will leads to the challenges. If quality is not different, quality is not same and standardized, prices would not be the same, right? Any other point? Now keep thinking that, what is the contrast between the first category and this category? Do you think, one should have same kind of sourcing strategy? Do you think that they both are facing similar challenges? The answer is no. And we would see in the subsequent categories also. Yes, one more point.
Hello. Some raw materials might be very scarce, so procuring them and the transportation costs will be very, very high.
Yes. So the raw material which is scarce, very few suppliers, that would be monopoly. And once monopoly is there in the business, it might result into higher prices. Okay. So we all agree about this category, that, the quality, the availability, right, and the price, they are the challenges. Okay. Now from the purchasing department point of view, right, what do you think roughly, what should be the sourcing strategies? What kind of expertise would be required to handle this type of purchase? One can think of
If we
so I heard forecasting. Yeah. Forecasting of what? Forecasting of how much is required. More than that, forecasting of prices would be the major issue. Okay. So from the figure you can see here, this one example how agricultural commodities, like, the prices are fluctuating. Okay. Forecasting can be one. Yes.
we can actually go with contracts with the suppliers, like as you say, like vegetables or some like ketchup making tomatoes are needed, price fluctuates often. We can go with contracts, like okay, average price for a long
So
term.
you are suggesting contract farming. Okay. Contract farming or other hedging strategies. Okay. What can be the other hedging strategies for other commodities, like, one should go for futures, options, or, contract. If it is like, agriculture commodities, can we go for contract farming? Okay. So those kind of expertise would be required to handle this type of purchase. Okay. Any other point? Yes. So what kind of quality we are getting, because we are signing contract, right? That would be specified in the contract. So here we are not talking of like, that we are getting bad quality. Now we are talking of environment where availability is limited. Probably, that grade is only limited. So some 2 years back, if you were hearing the news that the coal was in short supply in India. So like, to get the continuous supply of coal, many passenger trains got cancelled, because otherwise our power companies would become, just handicapped without the coal. Okay. So this is the issue, sometimes it depends on the availability. No matter whatever quality is available, can I get it, but that certainly affect, in terms of price, in terms of cost, and in terms of the quality of the finished product. It would definitely affect. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so it's a number of suppliers. Now, depending on this kind of purchase, which is very uncertain in terms of availability, quality, should you think we can go for a sourcing strategy where number of suppliers we can deal with, right? So that don't rely only on one supplier, because another supplier might be giving at better quality or better price, okay, because this is varying, right? The grades are varying, right? And here we need another expertise. Now we will actually, if we marry forecasting of the price capability, right, awareness about all the indices, all the exchanges, right, your metal exchange, knowledge on the index prices either at global level or domestic level, right, so that one can make out when to place an order, because your prices are fluctuating, your availability is not sure, the commodity which is sold at some price, let's say price X today, tomorrow it can increase, and you are not sure what would be the availability. Today, if 100 tons are available at some price X, tomorrow it might happen that the product is not available at all. And if we are waiting and thinking that let's wait, the prices would come down tomorrow, then we would buy, there can be chance that there won't be product available at all tomorrow. Okay. So now you see that this require different kind of expertise. So in the first category we have seen, is the cash flow, the margins, the price, which really is an indicative of like, how purchasing should deal with that type. But in this category, how to handle availability, price and contract, upward or forward buying contracts. Let's move to the next category, parts and components. Okay. So parts and components are sometimes sub-assemblies, small sub-assemblies, or the parts which actually goes to the finished product. They are not raw material, right? There's one step, like when small processing has been happened, or maybe some partial assembling has been happened. Okay. So we have seen the era of Mr. Henry Ford, when we used to have T cars and it was completely vertical integrated supply chain, right? So starting from ores till the assembly of complete T model cars, black color T model cars, which were coming out as a vertical integrated supply chain where each and every activity is happened in house. Okay, we have moved from there now, and we are again outsourcing, and the current responsibility of most of the vehicle uh, assembly companies are, they just assemble, right? They get, you know, the metal frames, you know, they get, you know, tires, they get the seats, right? They get all the electronic uh, already assembled circuits, right? So to assemble a car. Okay, so these are the parts and components, right? Now the issue is here the purchasing challenge is that, you know, whether for the finished product I need standardized parts or components, or we need customized parts and components. Okay, so mostly what happens, like, you know, if the target is that I want to be the faster in the market, want to be the first one to bring a new innovative product, then the parts and components should also be unique, right? But caution is, because of, like, you know, the want of unique products, it should not hurt, you know, the too much cost, right? Too much cost. So a very famous handset company, you know, the mobile assembler, so it has faced for many years, while affording duplication protection, used very high percentage of electrical and electronic components, right? The customized product.